baby, I don't understand it. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage.
What's going on, YouTube? Thanks again for joining me for my Road to Developer series. This is going to be a midweek recap for week 2 of Lambda School. And I know that is a long name. Hopefully I can figure out a way to make it sound better in the titles. If I didn't, but feel free to comment and tell me what you think I should have called it. But wanted to go over what I think you will need to know in order to be prepped for week 2. Now, mind you, you do not need to know any of this before joining the school. The school will teach it to you. But if you're like me and you get really anxious about the unknown and like to know what's coming up, then feel free to listen to the rest of this, because I'll be unleashing all the secrets, all right? So, and I do plan on, by the end of the week, going over my projects and actually letting you guys see the things that I was able to do throughout the week, so that you know what to expect as to what do you think they're going to be making you do. A lot of the anxiety that people get is from the unknown. So the number one thing that I think you need to look into first before all the other ones, just going in order, is I think you need to look into media queries. Now, media queries are very important because what they do is set breakpoints for your website. What that means is that as your website's viewport gets smaller and it goes from a desktop PC viewport to a tablet on down to a mobile device, then your media query will take over and restyle your entire website. Now, I know that sounds amazing, and if you haven't actually messed with media queries before, it isn't that amazing. The reason being is because you have to style everything yourself through those media queries, and it's not very hard to do. It's actually really fun. For me, it's very fun. However, it does take a little bit of finessing and just messing with it just to get comfortable with it. So if you haven't messed with media queries, now's the time to look into it. Another thing that you should look into is the different types of measurements that are in programming, such as we have pixel, which a lot of people are very accustomed to. We also have percent-based measurements, which I think a lot of people have also used. But then we also have the EMs, we have the REMs, you have the VWs, the VH. So I would say look into those and find out why they're special, why do we need them, why do we use them. Personally, one of my favorites is REM, which I've never used before until after this class at Lambda, and it has something to do with accessibility. I'm not going to give you all the secrets and everything, just because I like when people look up things on their own. You learn a lot better that way. And so I would say look into REMs and find out what's so special about them. The last thing that we need to look into is less. Less is a pre-processed compiler CSS styling thing for web development. So less is actually really cool. At first, once you start setting it up and doing all this other stuff, you're like, why would I want to do this every single time that I'm doing that I'm building a website? It just seems like so much more work than what it's worth. But in reality, it's honestly not that bad. Once you get into it and start working with it, and you start using the nesting techniques, you start using variables in your CSS, you start using mixins, which is kind of like writing functions in your CSS, you understand the power of less and why it's so important. And so I would say take some time to look into that and just try to figure out why do people even use that. You know, it's a really powerful technology. I personally did not mess with it much until I came to the school, and like a lot of other people, the more you use it, or the more you see your instructor using it and going over it, the more you kind of fall in love with it. So another thing that I did not talk about, and this is beyond the scope of what the video is the morning challenges that we have every day at Lambda School. So currently we're learning more around the realms of HTML and CSS and responsive design, things like that. We haven't even touched JavaScript yet. However, every single day we do have a daily challenge, and our daily challenge is currently JavaScript. From what I hear, it eventually changes to like C and then Python once you actually start getting into those courses. But as of right now, it's mainly JavaScript. So every morning we get these challenges, And these challenges aren't graded. You don't even have to really complete them. What they're there for is pretty much to give you a challenge to get your brain going in the morning. So you do have to attempt them, and it'd be nice if you submit them and everything so that they can tell if you're having any issues anywhere and go over them, which they do go over them with you later on in the day. But it's just really really nice thing to see. Just it'll get you, one, used to JavaScript, and two, it'll get you used to algorithms, get you used to just changing your mindset on how you solve these problems, get your brain going for the rest of the day so that you'll be more awake and more attentive. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And at the end of the week, like I said, I'm gonna try to go over my projects. I might even go over some of the challenges for the week that we had. That way you guys get to see the way that I solve them, and we'll go from there. And again, if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll do the best that I can to answer them. If I can't answer them, I'm gonna find somebody that can, and we'll get through this. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time. Peace.